same day, add it to the agenda, then approve same night minutes so they can get the immediate funding. So there are reasons why we do what we do. So just keep that in consideration. I believe the 7 of y'all do whatever y'all want to. Y'all want to do same night minutes and the whole damn thing. I mean, we're here to help y'all do what y'all need to do. And, as I told y'all when we did the first orientation, each of you have done something that I hadn't done. And I don't want to do. And that's to go out and get a whole bunch of votes. Y'all all got elected. That's a singular accomplishment that I think puts you head and shoulders of all the people that come talk to us and tell us about fluoride and all the other things we hear about on a regular basis. So remember, y'all have been elected to represent y'all's districts, and that's an important thing. If 7 of y'all want to do something, we do. Okay? That's just the way. So order of business is something I think can be changed. I don't think we follow it anyway. I mean, it's up to the chairman's prerogative what we do. It's up to us to determine how we like the layout of our agenda. This doesn't even deal with MLG and consent. It doesn't. We do have a provision that we added fiscal consent, city fiscal consent, to keep those items together. They are routine matters that don't require a whole lot of debate that we can vote on at the same time, understanding that those items require 7 votes. There can't be a majority of those present voting because money's involved. So I would think that the order of business is something that might warrant some redraft. So I'm not going to spend a whole lot of time on that. The next one is proceed.
Before we move on, this is, I would say that we modified to include MLG consent because we're not just doing it for us, we're doing it for future council.
Yes.
And if we don't have anything written down, now, any future council is free to modify and change it.
No, I agree.
But I think that our order of business should reflect the way that we're going to conduct business at every meeting.
I agree, but I was just pointing out to you that the way we do it now is not reflected in that document.
Okay.
So that needs to be converted to where we are today.
Okay. And so whether we do it here, because one of the things that I was looking at here is I'm looking at the order of 15 and 16. And when you look at number 28 on page 6, it talks about
Number 28?
yes, number 28. No one other than a council member may address the council except for permission of the chairman, provided that the chairman's rulings may be observed. Members of the public wishing to address the council on an agenda item shall sign in with the sergeant at arms and will be recognized by the chairman at the appropriate time. But if we look at, and maybe the way that we've been doing it is not this way, number 16 seems like it should be before number 15, because that's where we are actually voting on things. Am I the only one reading it that way?
Okay. And I want to talk about, let's talk about 15, 16, and 28 now.
Okay.
Let's do that now. That's one of the most significant things that y'all have on your plate.
Well, is it number 20 included in that as well?
28, what is it? 28.
So I'm asking you, number 20.
Yes.
Yes, it is.
Well,
yes, it is.
But think about it like this, though. Number 20, that's general discussion.
Right.
You're talking about
But it's still part of.
No, number 15 is items on the floor.
That's what you're talking about.
Right. But I guess for the sake of the discussion, yes. So I see 20 as people saying what they want to say after the meeting, after we voted upon things. But as I go back, if I look at this literally the way that it is on paper here, public hearings required by law, that speaks to number 28, stuff that we want to hear the public on. But the way that we have it here, passage of ordinances considered, those are things on the agenda, and we have, according to here, we have them speaking after we voted on it.
No, this is what this is contemplating. Okay, let's just talk general. And I agree with you, 20 is part of the process.
But I'm still
Anytime-
saying, we need to go back and have these rules reflective of what we do now.
Can I address that? The rule requires that there be no public discussion of resolutions, legislative matters that you consider. That is in keeping with the overwhelming majority of jurisdictions in the United States. What you're looking at in 16, however, is zoning matters. Public hearings dealing with zoning matters where you are not acting in a legislative capacity, you're acting in a quasi-judicial capacity where the proponents and opponents present to you evidence, you hear Josh, you decide, those up and down. Those are totally different issues. The legislative matters where you have ordinances and resolutions are yours, and very few, if any, jurisdictions allow public debate on those unless invited by the body itself. What I've passed out to you today is a sheet. If you look at this sheet.
Is this Nashville?
Yeah, this is Nashville. If you look at 32, 31 and 32, obviously the mayor can present matters to you, and you, out of comedy to his office, will allow him to address you. Okay, that's an exception to the rule. He can address you on where he believes we are on an ordinance or resolution to the extent that it has some fiscal impact or administrative impact. But if you look at 32, Nashville does not allow members of the public to address the council unless the council adopts a motion by 2/3 vote of the members present to allow the public to address the council regarding a specific ordinance or resolution at the meeting where such motion is considered. Or the council adopted a motion at a previous council meeting by a 2/3 vote of the council members present at such meeting to allow members of the public to address the council at the next regular council meeting. And it says that last sentence is our 16. The restriction does not apply to zoning matters where all parties concerned shall be allowed to speak for 3 minutes each, and then it requires their clerk to keep the time. So those are the distinctions. And what you're looking at in 28 is consistent with that, except we probably are more in the breach than the observance of that rule. We allow people to speak almost on every item. We do have a limitation that you can't speak more than 2 agenda items. And so we've had people that have wanted to speak on every one. I mean, and they really, but that rule in the Nashville rule, and if you look at New York, they don't allow anybody to speak. If you look at Los Angeles, they don't allow anybody to speak.
So how do they get input from the public?
They get input from the public the way the public will communicate with you in writing. Or they would contact you and ask when all this is discussed. You would then fill all of the information and be either an advocate for a position or share it with your colleagues. But that's what goes into the process of you deciding how you make decisions. Now, that's not to preclude you from saying, if you get some salient points from somebody, you can say, I have heard from X or Y. And Mr. Chairman, I'd like to move that they be allowed to comment on this ordinance before we vote. And then your body can invite those people to speak.